This is where my meditation journey started. So not in the mountains meditating with Buddhist monks, but here. I was very curious, what is this mindfulness thing that people talk about? Bear in mind, I was maybe around 18, 19 years old back then. I'm 24, 25 next week. So really it's been some time, and it really has been a journey when it comes to meditation for me. A beautiful journey, I must say. Not always 100% smooth, but it's like anything in life, right? It's about taking the journey and exploring as well. So yeah, what happened is this book, Mindfulness, a practical guide to finding peace in a frantic world. And a method called MBCT, Mindfulness-Based Cognitive Therapy. Therapy, right? Where people would do 10 weeks of meditation and general mindfulness. Mindfulness is just becoming aware of what's going on in your life, becoming aware how your body's feeling, becoming aware of what thoughts are going on, right? So there are 10 weeks of that, and the results were incredible, right? Like, it found that in some ways more effective than antidepressants and medication. Found people's moods were boosted, people's relationships were better, people were less stressed, people had more physical stamina. These are all benefits of meditation, mindfulness meditation. So I was really, really curious. I was like, wow, well, if this meditation thing can bring so many benefits, especially better relationships with people, that is one that really caught me. And another one that really caught me was better immune system, right? Because I always wanted to be healthy. Especially when I went through a period of extreme illness with glandular fever. There's another video somewhere on my channel talking about all of that, but essentially at that point in my life, strengthening my immune system was really important for me. Obviously, because meditation, you reduced stress as well, because stress can really dampen your immune system. So I was really intrigued. Then I read this book, which kind of tells me why meditation is so important, why it's so important to become aware of what's going on and not letting our thoughts run crazy. And then I just started practicing. There's a CD in here with like guided meditations, and I found those really helpful because, some people tell me they don't like guided meditations, but when you get started and you have no idea, if you just sit down, I'm sure you've done this many, many times. If you're like a newbie meditator, might not know as much about this as people who've been meditating for a long time, but you sit down and then the thoughts just start coming, right? You start to observe these thoughts, and before you know it, you're caught in a thought. You're gone. Your awareness. You're not here in the present moment anymore. You don't observe the thought anymore, or the coming and going of the thought. You're actually lost in that thought, right? This can be anything, like something that your friend said to you earlier, like, oh, I really like that shirt that you have, and maybe you think about your shirt and all these nice things, or more likely you think about your friend who said, oh, I really don't like how you handled the situation with the person in the shop that was selling you the shirt, and then you'll think about that, and then you're lost and gone. What happened next is I was just meditating with these guided meditations, right? Just trying out what felt right. And I started to really experience some benefits as well. So then what I did is I actually went, at some point after doing these meditations for a while, I actually went with my friend to a Buddhist meditation center or session. And this was really, really funny. I mean, it was such an experience. We went to this house, and we arrived, just before it was time. So everyone was there ready. Everyone was sitting in a circle. This was a traditional Buddhist meditation class, right? Something where there was no actual fee for you to pay, but at the end you can give your donation. Anyway, so what happened is that we everyone was sitting in a circle. There was the two guys who were dressed up in the traditional clothing, and these were obviously the teachers. And everyone was sitting on these meditation cushions, everyone in a circle, right? And then, I saw the circle, kind of half circle-ish, and then I said, oh, there's a lot of space there, I'm going to sit there. But there was a reason why no one was sitting there, is because that was, just in front of the Buddha statue that everyone is kind of facing or kind of sitting towards when they meditate in this class. and I was sitting right in front of the Buddha statue, blocking the way, and that was kind of embarrassing. That was my first moment of kind of like more of a class setting of meditation. Yeah, but that was great as well. I mean, the good thing about those things is they go for quite some time, and it was quite hard for me to block out like 2 hours or an hour and a half of meditation. I would usually do like 10 minutes of meditation, 15 minutes of meditation, but these 2 hours, because you're there with other people, and I actually went there with a friend, right? Like more like an event rather than something you have to fit into your day. I really, really recommend that once you've kind of tried our meditation a little bit, to go to one of these classes, because they can be really fun and you can connect with a lot of cool people and a lot of like-minded people as well. And then now, I mean, I don't really go to many of these guided classes, although I'm very open to do so. But I mean, the reality is, for me at the moment, I've mostly been using an app called Insight Timer for meditating. And on there are just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different guided meditations. And you can just pick whatever you like. I tend to meditate for like 10-15 minutes a day. Sometimes I have longer sessions, because I have like 2-hour ones on there as well. Or what I just do is, because it's called Insight Timer, the clue is in the name, is just a timer you can set. You can meditate for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you want. And the bell rings at the beginning to let you know that it started, and at the end to let you know that it's done. Meditation without any guidance is a little bit more advanced, I feel, but it's very, very refreshing. So what I usually do, my practice, I don't want to pack this video too full, but I'm just going to give you my simple practice that I actually learned at this meditation group where I sat in front of the Buddha statue. Basically what you do is you breathe in, breathe out, count 1, breathe in, breathe out, count 2, go all the way up until 10, but don't, force the breathing in and breathing out. Try and do it as natural as possible. So just, and in your head count 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then when you reach 10, start again from 1 and just keep going like that. And what that does is that gives you a sense of structure as well. So if at some point you can completely let go of the numbers and you can just meditate just by breathing without counting. But when you're not that used to meditating, and maybe even some people who are very used to meditating like to have this structure to keep them in the present moment, to keep them focused, because when you have a lot going on in your life, it's very easy to get caught into these thoughts and get lost in them as well. So there's really 2 things I would like to close this video with. And the first one being just the importance of meditation in your life. When I don't meditate and when I meditate, I can really feel the difference in my mood. I have much more self-control when I meditate. I feel generally much happier when I meditate. I'm much nicer to people when I meditate. And when I don't meditate, I'm so much more stressed. I am less nice. It's just not that good of an experience not to meditate, in my opinion. You get much more out of life when you do meditate. So I really, really recommend, if you don't meditate, please look into it, please start with it. And if you used to be a meditator and you've stopped meditating because life got too busy, know that, when life is too busy, that is when you need it especially. So I really recommend that you start again with it. Last thing I would like to say to close this video is just the critique I've read on a lot of big newspaper articles as well, is that meditation actually made me feel worse, or I felt more selfish, I felt more stressed when I started meditating. And all these articles, essentially make the case that they would rather not meditate and have less awareness, but also be less stressed. And what I can say to that is that essentially what meditation does is it just shines light on what's there, right? So if you feel more stressed because of meditation, it's because meditation shines light on the stress going on within you so that you can then tackle it. Or if you say, I feel more selfish, it's because meditation shines light on the behavior that you do, because you're more aware of it, you're more in the present moment, you're not just caught up in your thoughts, it's not just automatic. you're more aware of it, so then you feel more selfish. But I mean, isn't that ideal? Isn't that a really good thing that you're aware of it? Because if you're never aware of it, then you'll never be able to tackle it. And it's just buried and buried and buried under layers of things. So I would really like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to stay connected. At the Felix New on Instagram if you want to check out what I post there, inspirational quotes and all that good stuff. And check out some of my music here. Links right there. Take care of yourself.